Good morning. We are here at the Surfside Kollel Boker, and today we are learning from a beautiful sefer. I recently got hold of it, going to the Hechal Shalom library. That's the Moroccan shul here in Surfside. It's called Otzar Pelaot HaTorah. You can take a look at it right here. It is authored by Ze'ev Wolf Zickerman. From what I heard, it says here Brooklyn, New York. From what I heard, he's a businessman in Brooklyn, New York. This book is unbelievable. It's written in Hebrew. It's got unbelievable, interesting hidushim. I'm about to blow your mind away with some really, really interesting stuff. So he begins, VeZot BERACHA berach Moshe ish Elohim et ben Yisrael lifnei moto. He says that Moshe Rabbeinu gave a beracha. So the question is as follows: what was the beracha that Moshe gave? Do we actually have the text of the beracha? So we do. So listen in. I'm actually going to give it to you, and then you'll see when you say this over, you'll understand what was the actual text of the beracha that Moshe gave. Devar pele ita bepesikta de Rav Kahana. There's something really interesting in the pesikta of Rav Kahana. Ze lashon amar Rabbi Avin. Kol yamav shel Moshe haya mevakesh lavarech et Yisrael v'lo haya manicho malach hamavet. All of his life, Moshe wanted to bless Am Yisrael, but the Malach HaMavet made sure he would not. Ma'asa, what did Moshe do? Natalo v'kafto tachat raglav u'birchan lefanav. He physically got the Malach HaMavet and he put him under his legs, and he blessed Bnei Yisrael. Hadu dichti bezot beracha sheberach Moshe ish Elohim et Bnei Yisrael lifnei moto. That was what he did. It's exactly the pasuk. Lifnei mi, lifnei zeh shehaya mushlach tachat raglav. So it says lifnei moto, before he died. He's saying lifnei wasn't talking about before he died. He was saying lifnei that the Satan was under his legs. Uma beracha berecham. What was the beracha? Here you go, guys. It's brought down. Hoshia et amecha ubarech et nachalatecha or'em v'nasehem ad ha'olam. 10 words. Tehillim kafchet dash tet. V'chen ita b'midrash rabbah. Perek Yud Aleph dash Hey Rabbanan Amre Ma'asa Moshe Natalet Malach HaMavet Ishlicho Lefanav. He got the Malach HaMavet and he threw him in front of him. Vayam Mevarech HaShevatim, and he blessed each one of the Shevatim. Kol echad v'echad lefi birkato. According to the blessing, V'chen katvu b'dat zekanim me'ba'alet ezavot ve'od shonim zal. Be'inyan shelita al malach, in regards to having the power to subdue an angel. Atzayen le'uvda domeh hamovet b'masechet gitin. This type of thing was brought down in Masechet Gittin, Daf Samechet Amud Aleph, Shekasher Shalach Shlomo HaMelech, when Shlomo sent Benayahu ben Yehoyada, Lilkod et Ashmedai Melech HaShedim. He sends out Benayahu to go get him the king of the Shedim. What are Shedim? These are types of Malachim that were created, Ben Hashem Hashot. Extremely interesting. He has an aleph over here, so let's read it on the bottom, the footnotes. Shlomo HaMelech lachad et Ashmedai kedei sheyigadeh lo ayem mekamo shel Shamir. Shlomo HaMelech gathered Ashmedai because he needed the Shamir. It's a worm. It's a worm that cuts stones. So let's see what he has to say, and then we'll explain from the outside. Lesorech chituch avnei bet hamikdash bli lishtamesh bechli barzel. So he said they cut the stones using a worm without having to use barzel, iron, to cut the stones. Kedeita b'masechet gitin sham asiti li sarim besarot betanugot bnei adam sadeh besadot hachat targimu shida v'shiltin v'chule shida v'shiltin lemay iba'el lehil dechtiv v'abayit behibanato even shelema masa nivna begomer malhu lerabanan hechi avid ketzad achtoch et avanim beli barzel amru le'ika shemira de'aiti Moshe le'avnei ephod. Yesh tola'at, there's a worm called Hashamir she'evi Moshe Rabbeinu that Moshe brought lachtoch et avnei ha'ephod, in order to cut the stones that were in the ephod. Amar lehu hecha ishtekach amru le aiti sida v'sitin kivshinhu ahadade efshal did'i umegalu lach tavi. So the explanation is tavi shed v'sheda, bring those two creatures v'telachetz alehem ulai yud'im v'yegalu lecha. He said, get those two shedim and maybe they'll reveal to you. Aitish sheda v'shitin kevshinhu ahadade amre anan la yadina dilma ashmedai malka deshidi yada. So they said they didn't know where it was. Ashmedai shu melech, who was the king, he knows where that shamir worm is. Amar lehu hecha ite hecha nimsa ashmedai, where is he? Amre le ite betura palan. He's located on a mountain, Behar Ploni. V'chude. Yahav le shush shilta dechakik ale shem. So he got a chain and he tied on it a name. It says shalshelet shechakuk ale Hashem hameforash. So I guess Shlomo or Benayahu ben Yehoyada made a chain with the name of God on it. Why? Because he knew if he were to get Ashmedai into that lock, Ashmedai would not break it, because he would then, in essence, be erasing the name of God, and even Shedim don't do that. Isketa, he had a tabaat, a ring, the chakik ale Shem, a name, gabeve de amra, and then he also had gizeh tzemer, wool, bezike de hamra, and he also had some wine. Azal kara bira mitata'e v'shapinhu lemaya v'satminhu begabeve de amra v'kara bira me'ila'ai v'shafchinhu lechamra v'taminhu salik yatir be'ilana v'chule ki at'ar כשהתעורר אשמדאי הווה קם מפלזל משתגע מתעסק לנתקה ממנו. That's Rashi. Amar de shema de marach alach shema de marach alach shema kadosh baruch hu alecha. Okay, so it seems here that they made a switch, and he ended up drinking the wine. They ended up putting the chains on him, and they ended up catching him. What's interesting on the shamir worm, this is from the outside, is I looked up to try to understand first. Is there such a stone, is there such a worm that could cut stone like this? And how'd they do it? And how did the worm know to make a straight line? So what I read from a few of the mefarshim is that they used to have the stones, and they would actually mark the stones with some form of like a pencil or a mark, and then they would put the worm on it, and the worm had some form of a laser coming out of it that would cut the stones perfectly based on the lines they drew. And they would keep the shamir in a box made out of oferet, out of lead, because lasers cannot penetrate into lead. This is brought down from the mefarshim, from the midrashim, and from the Sfarim Atikim from over 2,000 years ago. So it's interesting, before lasers were even around, God created a worm that had a laser feature into it. And he also told us how they could be prevented. Using lead, you can actually protect oneself. So there you go. What is the BERACHA of Moshe Rabbeinu? It was Hoshtiat Amecha Ubarechet Nachatecha Orem Naseim Ad HaOlam. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.